Aloha and welcome. It's Aloha Monday. Yeah, way too much work for the next few days to go through that. But anyhow, hey gang, how y'all doing? Oh my gosh, I just a couple seconds ago I was following chat because I'll do that before the live sometimes. I go back and forth between researching and checking up on chat and all. And I got so I got so excited when I saw my Scarlet in chat. I did not notice there was a bunch of chats above that I never even addressed. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I missed those people. I'm going to hit those people right now as YouTube decides to send out all their notifications and all that fun stuff. And yes, the moment I got ready to hit, I already gave the dogs their treats, so hopefully they're going to be good for a while. I got one right here. What happened to your treat, Wrigley? Did your mommy steal it? Probably. Your mom probably did steal it. But let's say hi to people. I, for a second, was like, oh my gosh, you mean Princess Megan was not first in chat? You got to be kidding me. And then I just realized a second ago, yes, she was. La Princesa, of course. I love you, my dear. Hello, 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 my loves. I hope you had a good weekend, Princess. Hope you had a great one. And there's Robin. Hey, Robin. And I had so much, and we're going to get to that in a second. But, here she goes. Hello, Miss, here she goes. Wow, we had a lot of people. Something tells me it's because someone shared this out earlier. Dear Scarlett, I had so much fun. I mean, I was over at Scarlett's panel earlier. I woke up this morning and I thought for sure I was going to miss her live this morning. I worked late on a project last night. One of the greatest things about doing consultant work, you make your own hours. And if you want to work till 3 or 4 in the morning, that's fine. It works perfectly. So that's what I was doing last night. And I was like, oh, I'm going to miss her live. And then I woke up, sat down, pulled up YouTube, and there it was. And I'm like, yes, I can make. So I was able to go up on panel. And Scarlett, you did not have to do that, hun. I love you. I love you. Scarlett was one of my biggest blessings from Vegas. Okay. Gosh, the friendships that just deepened there, and some of the ones that were more, I don't want to say acquaintance level, but they became deep friendships. I love you, Scarlett. Thank you, though. And I'm sure, yeah, it looks like it did. I know you are the sweetest, but I love you. I love you. And I had a great time on your panel today. Really great. For those of you, do check out Scarlett. She actually has a great little channel over there that I love listening to. Quite. I miss a lot of the lives because of the time zone, but when I can, I love it. I know, Crystal, it might take a few minutes for you, good old YouTube, to send messages out. There's a lot of stuff going on out there right now. So we'll find out. And you know what? If it is only this, hey, we got replay crew. And all the key here is getting this story out. And this story, yeah, you guys are going to hear, we're going to really be depending on Google Maps today for this story. This is the story I'm going to share today is about a gorgeous young woman who had a mental break. Looks like she suffers from bipolar, and she was in the middle of a manic episode when things just started progressing, and they did not stop until she was no longer seen. And that's what we need to get the word out for, because I do think there's a very good chance she's out there wandering around right now. Other people that are here right now, though, there's our dear Christola. I love you, my dear Christola. Aussie True Crime. Up here comes it up. Make sure I got noise cancellation back on. I've been turning it off so I can sing karaoke, but it needs to be back. Aussie True Crime. How are you, my beautiful? I hope you've been having a good day so far. And there's BC. Hello, BC. Love you. Love you, love you, love you. And Christola, thank you. I was hoping someone would do that without me having to ask. So thank you so much for that. So anyhow, let me first bring up a picture of Kay. Kay is, Kay is a young woman who unfortunately went missing back in early March. Now, we're going to go through the breakdown of everything that occurred. And what's really kind of This started off as I saw a case that was really involving family, really supporting her, out there looking and stuff like that. And then it progressed, and I started seeing what actually happened that evening, and my heart went out to her. And then I came to the end of the story, which angered me. Really angered me, because basically, hey, butterfly kisses, welcome, my dear. Truly angered me, because this whole story you're going to hear about, there were a lot of things that happened, and things that probably shouldn't have happened, okay, that involved police and all that, because I'm sure they were scared, okay, concerning her, because there were some weird things going on behavior-wise and stuff like that. But in the end, Texas EquiSearch was involved in this case. They had to pull out. And the reason why they had to pull out, and I'm going to state this up front because I think it's important for us to know this from the beginning. They had to pull out because the police decided to cancel the missing person alert and instead charge her with criminal charges. And the moment that happened, all of the amazing work that Texas EquiSearch did, and looking, all this information I think is coming from Texas EquiSearch, coming in, helping, trying to track her and all that. It was coming from them. And the problem happens is the moment this young woman, the missing person side was taken away and replaced with felony charges that we're going to talk about, and was the moment that Texas EquiSearch had to say, we're not allowed to be involved anymore. And what that's done is it's taken away a huge ability for the family to track this woman who no doubt was suffering a manic break at that time. She was dealing with a lot of stuff going on. Butterfly kisses, that's awesome. The more of us that can, because I'll be honest, they need to get this charged. If they want to charge her sometime, fine. But right now, a person, just because of a mental health issue, does not necessarily make them criminals. Sometimes the mental health behaviors leads to it. And right now, this is a young woman who has never even had a ticket. Okay, this is not someone who has a history or things like this. It's pretty evident what we're dealing with in this case. So anyhow, to share with you guys the pictures that you're seeing here, she went missing on March 10th of this year in the city of Tomball, Texas. She's 5'4", 127 pounds. I'm putting her down as light brown hair and blue eyes. I haven't actually seen those, but from what I'm looking at, and thank you to Robin over on Scarlett's channel. Robin was helping me out with doing some research while I was up on panel. She was helping me research all this. So I really want to thank her for all that. So there's a lot going. Tarot with Trisha. Trisha, thank you so much. Thank you for becoming a member. Love you, and thank you. And also, we got an Ohana member. Hey, we have fun with our Ohana. Yes, Cassie, we do, don't we? And thank you, Trish. Thank you so much, my dear. And so yes, Cassie, do you want to say hi? Okay, say hi, Trisha. Say hi. Yeah, you just want my attention. It's like, give me treats, give me treats. So she was last seen actually driving all over, pretty much over a pretty good sized part of Texas. And she ended up in areas where she was not from. She thought she was in areas, and other times it just really sad. She did go missing wearing a kind of pinkish some said hot pink dress. It's basically the dress that you're seeing in this picture, that long maxi dress that you see there. That is what she went missing in. So I wanted to include it in the picture. The only difference is, in reality, she was not wearing the jacket. Okay, you're going to see in a few minutes what she was actually wearing. Christola, I don't know if you can help her with the membership link. If not, we will find a way to get it to you. Aussie True Crime for sure. And So let me switch over. If anyone does see her, okay. Oh, and one thing I do want to address again. Okay, she is very possibly disoriented. Okay, it's something that is recognized here. Hey, speak for those who can't. One of the issues here is she was very disoriented. Like I said, she was in the middle of a manic episode. The problem is, okay, good. Okay, Battissimo is working, thank God. And but just because she was in the middle of that, she has no history of being dangerous. Okay, just having mental health issues does not make you dangerous. Okay, she is definitely going to be confused, the thought process is right here, but not a danger to anyone. What family is asking is if anyone sees them, try to take a picture of her, because they have had some people say, oh, I see her, but then they go check later, and of course, it's not always the person. But if you take a picture, and this is great information for anyone, if you ever see someone that you think is a missing person, try to snap a picture of them, because it truly will make a difference in recognizing those types of things. And so if you do that, it really will help for sure be able to say, yes, that is definitely, I recognize that. Aussie True Crime, I love you, my dear. Welcome to the Ohana. Aloha and welcome, my dear. I love you. Thank you. And this family is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I love it. I love it. Thank you, guys. Okay, so third cup of coffee today. I'm caffeinated. If you think you have seen her, please call the Harris County Sheriff's Office, 713-755-7427. Even though there are the charges and stuff like that, the family wants her home. Okay, and the police will do what they need to get her home at this point. So please help us keep an eye out. Help us share out her picture. Because in the end, where I think has happened, one of the big possibilities, yes, Sleuth, it is time to expand the emojis. And I'm like, oh my God, what other emojis can I add now? And also, I need ideas. Let me know, guys, if you have ideas of emojis. So, because I've run out of pets. I've got all 4 pets there. So if you have anything with that, okay, just let us know. Do that. I'm hoping they'll drop the charges. And even within things, okay, right now the focus is not the crime. The focus is finding her. Whether you're the police or the family, they want to find her right now. So what I'm going to do is start telling us her story as we go through this. Hey, Uncork Brandy. I start saying the names and then all of a sudden I see the rest of the. Is she local for you? Okay, Brandy. I know I have a lot of Texas people here. And this area I'm kind of familiar from because I have family in Texas also. And yeah, when you hear this whole thing, as I bring up Google, you're going to recognize that she definitely was confused at the time. So the story itself started, and guys, sorry, this is going to be a large, okay, opening screen here. Okay, we've got the state of Texas right there. Okay, the story starts in Silsbee, way over here. Okay, and I think you guys can see my cursor. I hope you can see my cursor. I don't know if you can or not, but all the way on the most eastern point there is Silsbee, Texas. So on the evening of March 9th, and actually before I go any further, let's make sure it's up. Okay, good. Now I can talk and you guys can see me and it. On the evening of March 9th, she was at a friend's house in Silsbee, Texas. And that evening she got in her car to drive, okay, to another friend's house. This other friend is in Austin. Now, Austin is over here, all the way at the western point. So the 2 yellow areas that you're seeing there are the 2 areas we're talking about. Her whole plan was to drive from Silsbee to Austin to see her other friend. Some of what was going on at that time is she had not had any sleep in almost 3 days. Anyone who has dealt with people who are bipolar, that can be very common. As you're in a full force, okay, manic episode, you may not be sleeping at all. The problem is a lot of the families and friends did not realize that's what was going on at the time. But she hadn't slept in 3 days. She was in the middle of a severe manic episode. I'm sure a family had realized that, friends had realized that, but you know what? As we get older, people don't recognize all those things because you may not be living full time with that person and recognize the ups and the downs. So she took off. And as she was taking off from Silsbee, going west, she's, okay, driving through, I'm not sure the exact way she was driving, but driving in this general vicinity. At some point, sorry, Cassie, go see grandma if you're going to bark. She texted one of her friends, her friend whose name is Brittany. And the words that were texted were the words, no help. Brandy says she was on 2 medications that the doctor sent to 2 separate pharmacies, and those medicines. Okay, and see, there is a lot. I almost put this case off a day because I kept finding more and more information. So I'm so happy that we have Brandy and, okay, everyone else who, okay, that know a little bit of the story so that we can kind of share the story back and forth, because I have a feeling there's a lot of extra information here for everyone to help share. And Christola, thank you so much for sharing out the links, because the more we can share each other's links. Thank you. Thank you. So she was driving, that text went out. Brittany did connect with her at some point, okay, over a little bit of time. And when she heard back from Kay told her that she was fine and she was driving. Okay. One other thing that did pop up, and I am going to switch back to pull this part up, is that a little later, we're going to talk about some doorbell footage. And I did want to address this right now because there was definitely some concerns going on. One other friend said that they had talked with her, and she had mentioned that her phone was down to like 3%. I'm taking it was Kay's phone was down to 3% battery. I may be wrong on that. The information I saw said the friend. So I'm thinking that's what they mean. They didn't mean the person talking. And she had written a friend's address down on her arm. Now, the reason why I'm going to bring this up is this leads to this next picture. The picture on the left is, to be honest, the last photograph we have of her. Okay, she actually, a couple hours later, she ended up on someone's doorstep thinking it was her friend's house. And she was there. And if you look carefully, first of all, you can see the maxi dress now that she was wearing. And you can also tell on the inside of her arms, she has writing. That fits with what they were told, that she had written her friend's address down on her arm. And so she was trying to get somewhere safe. Okay, she started driving. She started getting sleepy. So, okay, had a lot going on in her head, and she wanted to find a safe place. And that's one thing that keeps coming up over and over as we go through, okay, where she was and all that. Let me pull us back to Google. Okay, so we're here. She's driving through Houston and stuff like that, trying to get to where she's going. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. She ended up taking 290, which is right here. Okay, it basically connects Houston all the way to Austin. You can take that straight into Austin that way. And that's what her plan was to take it straight in. While driving, she got tired. And she realized she was tired, and she did what so many of us should do. She got off the road rather than keep driving and risk. I mean, I lost an uncle to driving tired. Okay, she did what she was always probably taught to do. Get off, find a safe space. So she got off the highway, got off at 290 in Hockley. Now, this is going to be, I probably should have done this a little different. So she's coming down here. She got off right here into Hockley in an area called Bower Landing. Okay. As she got off on this area, she started going through the little neighborhoods and all in Bower Landing, trying to find a location that would be safe for her to sleep. There is ring footage. Okay, at one point, one of the first sets of ring footage that has been collected came from a young man who lived with his parents. It shows Kay getting out of, asking him, hey, can I nap here? I'm tired. Would it be okay for me to nap here? Unfortunately, the young man was underage. And what he said is, I need to go ask my parents. I'll be right back. He went in to go ask his parents, is it okay for this? There's some lady out here and she wants to rest. Is it okay? They came outside. By the time they came outside, Kay was back in her car and was starting to drive out of the driveway to drive away. Yeah, it is. Honestly, Sleuth Mom, this whole case became more and more devastating the more I looked at it, because I saw a young woman who truly was exhausted and she was trying to find a safe way as a single woman, okay, alone. And then you also have all the fears that go with that, but now you're also going through a manic episode on top of it. So, she spent the next couple hours just driving around Bower Hills, Bower Landing area. So you can kind of see it's pretty much farm area. Okay, I'm going to kind of go in a little closer. Bower Landing. These dots, none of these are exact locations. Okay, first for privacy's sake. Second of all, the actual locations aren't there. It's just saying, hey, this street, this, that all. So she's looking through these areas, going into different people's driveways. Sorry, let me get rid of that so you guys don't keep seeing that. Okay, trying to find a place to go. Various different things happened. At one time, she pulled into a driveway and a man actually chased her out of his driveway. There's been a lot of tracking in this case. I'm not sure how much of that was tied to the vehicle versus ring footage and people contacting or what, but there was a lot going on and a lot of people have come together on this. Around 3:30 in the morning, she drove into one more driveway, and that is in an area called Segan Trail. Now, coming back here, up here is Segan Trail. So you got Bower Landing. Like I said, I don't have the specific areas, but Segan Trail is, I suspect, this street within here. And you can see you're getting into where you have woods, all sorts of stuff going on out here. So 3:30 in the morning, she drives into this driveway on Segan Trail. The homeowner has shared a bunch of doorbell footage. This is where we have that picture that I just shared with you guys of her in her dress with the writing on her arm. She got out of the car, came to ring the doorbell and all, and she thought she was at her friend's house. Okay, due to the confusion and stuff like that, she thought she had just driven for several hours at this point. It's 3:30 in the morning. She's probably thinking all this driving around she just did, she's already to Austin or wherever it was she was headed at that point, to that friend's house. So she was let me pull it up here so you can kind of see her face and everything. She thought she was at the house. Hey, KK, love you, my dear. This is a Texas case, actually, my dear. So she stood there for a while trying to get information, trying to get in the house, not understanding why this person is not letting her in their house. Of course, anyone probably wouldn't. I mean, you get some strange person coming up to your door. I don't blame them whatsoever. And, but the footage, the video footage, because it's actual video footage, shows her extremely confused. And the video itself, in general, really worries her family. They're like, this is not the girl that we're used to seeing. Okay, they could see that she was in the middle of extreme confusion. And in the middle of the night, it's not making it much easier. You can't recognize buildings around you, anything like that. So that was at 3:30. She stayed there for about 20 minutes. At 3:50, she left Bower Hills and got back onto 290. So let's take us back to Google. So she left this whole, okay, Bower Hills area, this whole area over here, and got back onto 290. Now remember, 290 kind of goes through this whole area towards Austin, which is where she wanted to go. The problem is when she got into her vehicle, got onto 290, she did not go west. She ended up going east. And that added, I'm sure, to her confusion at that point. She ended up coming out this way, okay, coming back on, coming out this way. She did not go that far. She landed in an area called Holly Creek Trails in Tomball. So let me, Tomball is, okay, right here. Okay, Holly Creek Trail. So we were just in this area here. She got on it, somehow probably just got right off into this area here. Holly Creek Trails is this area, in this place here. She got into this area, and I'm not sure the exact location. Okay, she ends up, over the next couple hours, she ends up moving herself towards the northeast. So it gives you a little bit more idea of directions. However, around 6 a.m., a homeowner wakes up to find her sleeping in her vehicle in his driveway. KK, she started off in Silsbee, okay, and she was driving to Austin, was where she was. But she unfortunately was in the middle of a manic episode and got extremely tired. And things just snowballed from there. So she was at this point in this Holly Creek Trails area, and in someone's driveway, she'd been sleeping during the night. Now, the family says when she sleeps, sounds like she's like me, she sleeps like she's dead. You can't wake her up, okay? She is out when she's out. And that's what happened. The homeowner woke up, went to try to wake her up and say, hey, what's going on? Okay, it looks like it's on a farm. It looks like there's quite a few farm areas or areas with pastures and all that. So he tried to wake her up. She would not wake up. He got extremely concerned over this because, I mean, is she awake? Has she passed away? All these different questions, I'm sure, are going through his mind. So he makes the decision, after not being able to wake her up, to call the constable and a number of his neighbors. That way they would have that neighborhood, because it's a very close neighborhood where people really care about each other and they're very close-knit. So there they are. You have the neighborhood around. Constable comes up, and they decide to try to wake her. Constable starts knocking on the door, doing everything they can to wake her up. Kay wakes up and is scared to death. She's woken up to probably a couple men surrounding her vehicle. Men she doesn't know, even if one is dressed as a police. I'm sorry, but I'll be honest, even me. Okay, there have been times that if I was going to get pulled over, okay, I had it in my head, I am driving to the police station because there's no way I'm pulling over out in this area. Okay, my mom has had police shown up here because she set off our alarm on our house and she's deaf and couldn't hear it, and 911 showed up. and she would not open the door up. It's part of, we do have to be worried about our safety, and I'm sure she was. So she was woken up in this situation and scared. She didn't want to get out, things like that. She got more and more scared and decided to try backing out of the driveway, went in through the yard, and to get into the street and get away, but a neighbor had blocked the street, so she could not get away at that point. Of course, we understand why they're doing that. They're worried about her, whatever it is, okay? Could be a criminal activity going on, okay? They have to look at things that way. But to her, it was scary. And so she, realizing, oh, great, they're not letting me leave or anything either now, she turned around and started coming back through the driveway and all. At this point, the constable called Harris County Sheriff's Department for backup. Okay, they realized they needed extra stuff. And as I said before, family has said, this girl has never even had a ticket before. Okay, she's not someone who knows how, has had to deal with a lot of police encounters, things like that. She's probably still dealing with a lot of disorientation. Who knows if the manic episode's still going on, but there's a lot going on at that time. So she slowly starts, driving back into the driveway area, and the police are on foot following behind her. She does not stop. And this is where later on the police end up pulling up charges, is the fact that she resisted, basically, in their words. Okay, she did not stop and let police take over at that point. She continued driving. She went through the man's front yard, drove towards his pasture area. So again, I'm not sure exactly where we're talking about here, but that's what she's doing, is driving at that point through areas. Okay, we can tell there's definitely, some areas with woods out here. Okay, there's quite a few different areas where people can end up. At some point, as she's starting to drive towards the pasture and all, the police make a decision to break her window. Brandy says they claim she ran over a cop's foot. See, so there's a lot of little things. Okay, that one I had, in fact, I'll be honest, I was playing around on a panel and I did not get as deep of, I told Sleuth before I went live on this, I could have probably done another full day of research on this case. There's so much to it. They decided to break the window. And I understand why they would do that. They see someone who is not stopping, they're continuing on, things like that. But knowing what we now know, Monday Morning Quarterback, you've got a woman who is scared, things like that, and now people are breaking her window and all. She got more scared and now takes off and drives through the pasture. Awesome, Brandy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my dear. And so she's now driving through the pasture and all. She police are on foot behind her, running behind her. She drives through 1, 2 pastures as she's trying to escape, multiple fences, and finally ends up in the woods behind the home. So you can kind of see, like I said, I don't have the specific locations, but there's definitely a lot of woods in this area out here. And so she ends up in the woods. KK, they are lucky they, yes, and that's true. That's true. And that's why I understand both sides right now of what's going on. Unfortunately, mental health doesn't think logically like we do when you're in the middle of a situation, that's going on and you got manic thought process going on or anything like that. Any of us who've ever even been through depression knows how our brain can play games with us during those times. So she continued driving into the woods and actually made it about a half mile into the woods before the car finally got stopped. Okay, it came bogged down and okay, the woods. I mean, how far can you get before either it's too wet, things like that. So the car stops. She can't get any further. She chooses to get out of the vehicle and now run. So she's now on foot. She actually dropped her phone fairly near where the car was left. So now she is not only on foot, okay, but she is without a phone. And if you looked at the pictures, she's without a jacket or anything like that also. So, and yes, I know Texas isn't freezing, but you know what? You get nervous, you get scared, it gets cold. No matter what. That's just normal for any human being. So, she's now running through the woods. And she makes it to the area called Spring Creek. Now, sorry, I hate it when I do that. Sorry, gang. Spring Creek here, okay, has a park. It's a whole location area, but you can see here with all this in this area here, she makes it into Spring Creek. Brandy, you've had some really cold temps over the last month, so see even more so. Okay, definitely getting cold and all. She comes to Spring Creek, which is an actual creek. You can kind of see it here running through this area. So she gets to the creek itself. As she gets to the creek, she decides she's got to cross the creek. So she makes the decision to take her shoes off so she can cross the creek on a log. So her shoes were actually found near this log that she would have most likely used to cross. What breaks my heart is I read the comment that the shoes, when they were found, you could still see glass that had worked down from when they broke her window. The glass that probably fell on top of her shoes and might have worked its way down through these sides of the shoes. That truly, here she'd been running, walking. And so who knows if her feet are now also cut up on top of everything else. So no shoes on top of everything else now. She crosses that creek, and as she crosses the creek, she enters Montgomery County. She continues running, runs through another person's pasture, through another person's yard, and gets to Decker Prairie Rose Hill Road. So that is this area right here. Sorry, I swear I need to stop hitting buttons. So, Decker Prairie Rose Hill. Okay, so it's in this general vicinity here. And this becomes the last place she is officially seen. She goes into these areas and someone does see her at around 7 a.m. So about an hour has now passed from the time that she was seen at that other person's house sleeping in their yard, in their driveway. So she's last seen around 7 a.m. Oops, sorry. Guys, you can go play. Thank you. And that's where she's last seen. Now, whoops, shit, I just screwed that one up. Okay, I think it was somewhere right around there. So what you can see here is this. You've got a lot of roads. I'm not sure exactly where along the road it was that, okay, she ended up with, but there's definitely smaller roads here. There's a bigger road here. Okay, all these other areas that are popping up going into a larger little town here. Parents on Friday, March 10th now, so we're talking really right on time and all that. Her parents at around 11 a.m. reported her missing to the police. As I said, Texas EquiSearch became involved pretty much immediately. Okay, they did an amazing job searching those wooded areas. If it hadn't been for them, I mean, searching a wooded area safely, they did a great job with that. They were able to help figure out exactly what happened. In the end, the concern is this, that as she got through here and got through to the road and all, is that she continued on foot and made her way to a bigger road. And what happened then? Did she continue walking on her own? Is she in a homeless shelter or something somewhere? I know the family has been looking in homeless shelters. I think I read Houston, but I may be wrong on that. But that kind of makes sense. Okay, you're here in Tomball, right here, Tomball or something like that. But the concern is, what if the wrong person picked her up? Okay, hopefully she did find her way to a homeless shelter or something like that. I mean, if you're in the middle of a mental health break and you're having this much trauma happen on top of it, it's very, very possible. Yes, Brandy. Okay, got it. So the dogs did track her to the highway. Okay, I was wondering about that. So there were certain things that did happen during this. You did have the dogs. You actually had Harris County sent up some helicopters initially to search for her heat signature. They ran out of fuel, so they were not able to finish all that. But that led to even more of the concern. Okay, if they're not finding heat signatures in the woods and stuff, it leads you to more of an idea that she made it to a road. So what happened from there? Exactly. Was she picked up? Did she walk her way to a different location? What happened? And that's why I think getting this out as far as we can becomes important. Now, what happened that is now causing, I addressed this slightly at the beginning, is what happened after the fact. Her parents reported her missing. Missing reports went out. Like I said, Harris County sent up their police helicopter. All these things happen. At some point, Harris County police made a decision to cancel the missing person alert. So completely dropped the alert and instead made the choice to charge her with felony evasion of arrest. Now, the problem is this. I can understand to some degree. I can. I believe in our police. I do. And I can see with what happened, okay, the fears. I mean, they themselves, I'm sure it was a very tense situation for them also. They didn't know if this woman might have a weapon or something like that. So I'm sure it was rough for them. But by doing what they did, it's completely taken away the ability for people to keep searching for her in a coordinated way. It's pretty easy to recognize this girl had a break. She's dealing with mental health issues right here. When you're dealing with mental health, I'm sorry, but suffering mental health crises does not make you a criminal. Okay, yes, what you do during that can make you a criminal. I agree. Okay, someone can do some pretty bad stuff in the middle of something, but it does not make you a criminal. Okay, right now we need to find this young woman. They need to find her. And the problem comes down to this. Every one of us, what's one of the first things we all do when we hear of someone who goes missing in the middle of the woods or something like that, and they're from Texas or the area? Have them contact Texas EquiSearch. First thing that goes through all of our heads, right? Well, the problem is now Texas EquiSearch cannot participate in a search for her because she's wanted. Okay, they are not allowed to do it. And that is sad because this girl needs support of people. Okay, there is a chance she's either in those areas or she's out in other areas. What if she started walking and found her way into another set of wood area or something and they just haven't gotten that far in the investigation? Okay, and yes, sorry, I got a little fly around me driving me crazy. And but exactly, KK. Okay, when she gets home, okay, and I'm going to be positive she'll get home. Hope is there. Hope is always there, and we'll keep hope there. And if they end up dropping the charges, okay, then all of that was for nothing. I know the family is asking for help in contacting people, the governor. Okay, they've contacted Governor Greg Abbott and asked him, please step in here. Okay, help us speak up for our daughter. Help us let people know that she was dealing with a mental health crisis. Okay, there's ways of dealing with that after the fact. If she's found, bring her back home. There's ways of getting her help, of, okay, working medication, things like that. But you know what? We're not helping her right now. And another person they've been asking for assistance from is Representative Morgan Luttrell. These people support the people. So stepping up and helping to speak up for one of the citizens of that area. Okay. And yeah, there are a lot of things, Crystal. It's frustrating right now because this family is still out there every day doing official searches. In fact, I will share with you guys later on, because I know there's a lot of you from this area, the searches that they're doing. And if any of you have the ability to go join one of those searches, I know not everyone does have that ability, or share posters out or things like that locally. The rest of you guys, because like we said, we don't know where she is right now. Butterfly Kisses, if she's found with people, will those people be charged? If so, there's quite a few charged. Exactly. Okay, and what becomes problematic is if someone's sitting here trying to take care of her and wants to get her the help, they might be scared to even speak up at this point. And yet they're trying to help support it. We need to, I get the police were probably scared. Okay, I'm sure anyone who was dealing with that was scared. But you know what? Mental health is not a reason for someone to be seen as a criminal. Everything. She definitely should have been a silver alert. Christola, you hit it on the head there. That should have been okay, this could be easily a silver alert, rather than going in the direction that, oh, she's a criminal. And I don't think anything, this girl doesn't have her background is not that of a criminal. Not that that should make a difference, to be honest. Okay, mental health, okay, break is a mental health break. But this girl doesn't even have a ticket. I mean, this girl has had no issues in the past with, okay, any of her behaviors. So maybe people can help out with that. Writing letters or sending an email or something to some of the governor or the representative and say, there's a case out there right there that needs your help, that needs your support. And I can definitely come into Discord. I can share with you guys phone numbers and all that, no problem. I'm sure Brandy will have more information on that also. And also, there were comments from the doctor that are so concerned that she's not the first. See, and that becomes more and more of the issue. That we've got to remember, okay, mental health is not a reason to look down on people. It's not a reason to label people or anything like that. Okay, to decide what's going on or make decisions as to what's going on. There were a couple things that, what I've loved about this family is they have a GoFundMe, because right now they're doing all of this search on their own. They're not getting support from any groups. Okay, they don't have that ability now. It's been taken away from them by law enforcement. So they created a GoFundMe so that they can do searches, so that they can post thousands of posters, okay? And they can hit areas from Austin to Houston, San Antonio, to all these different places, okay? And that takes money. It does take money. So they do have a GoFundMe, but what I've loved about the GoFundMe is the way that, I've always said this to people, you know what, if people are going to give money to you, let them know what's going on. Okay, give them updates. Let them know, okay, the relationships and the background and where you are and where you're planning on going and stuff like that. And that's what this family is doing. They had the most in-depth, organized thought process of what actually happened leading up to this. They've had, they're very transparent, Brandy, very. And then they did what I always talk about. Every one of these pictures here has a story. When we look at these pictures of this gorgeous young woman here, and she is getting more and more media attention. I am noticing that. They're doing a great job at pulling all these things together. And also, Butterfly Kisses just gave us some more. She was placed back on missings. Really? Oh my God. Thank God. Thank God. Thank you. Butterfly Kisses. Thank you. Butterfly Kisses is also looking at this case. There's a lot of us. You know what? The squeaky wheel does make a difference. So oh my gosh, that is amazing news. That is amazing news. But yeah, each of these are stories. This young woman, I look at the one picture on the right and I keep thinking about what was going on during that picture. When that picture was, it looks like she's up on stage, looks like there's music, there's a guitar there, all these different things. And you hear, hey, LG, love you, my dear. And there's so much going on with that. And one of the things they've done is their GoFundMe page is also communication with her. Okay, just in case she comes across and remembers, maybe she remembers her name and checks up online, and they can see all these messages that have been written to her, reminding her about past and stuff like that. And that's what got me. There was the comment here, and I'm just actually, this is straight from their words. Okay, Kay-Alana loves to sing. She sings when she's happy. This is actually going to give you a clue if you happen to be walking around and hear singing. And that's why this becomes important. She sings when she's happy. She sings when she's sad. She sings when she's scared. It helps her overcome her fear. Kay Hall, her kindergarten teacher, would say she could hear Kay-Alana singing when she went to the bathroom. The school bathroom can be a very scary place for a 5-year-old. All the teachers said you could hear Kay-Alana's voice all the way down the hall. She would have been embarrassed as a 5-year-old for people to know she was scared, so she would sing. So please pay attention. If you're out in the Tomball area, if you hear singing, please check it out. It could be Kay-Alana. So it's these little stories that tell us who she is. Because I'm that way too. I sing when I'm happy. I sing when I'm scared. When I'm sad, I definitely sing. It's what I do to help control my emotions. Another story they shared was Kay-Alana, and it was written to her. Remember when you were 14, you entered the Heritage Village photography contest. You had taken a picture of Sophie drawing on an old metal tank over at the Barnes property. The picture was so beautiful. The shadows and rust stains on the tank made it look like angels were watching Sophie draw. The picture took best of show. The judge wanted to know what technique you used to develop it. I thought he was going to fall out when he told him you went to Walgreens. He was expecting some long drawn-out process. Nope, just Walgreens photo department. He couldn't believe it. Kay-Alana, God is sending his angels to watch over you. He is using unconventional ways to develop your story. God is using a family not born of blood, but born of love, to search for you. Your family, friends, and strangers have become the Walgreens. God is using you to develop a glorious story, Kay-Alana. I believe God's angels are camped around you. They're watching over you, keeping you, protecting you. We love you, KK. That, to me, says so much. And it's true. Okay, she's got tons of people who are out here now and are telling, look at this, 3 people out of one group here doing this coverage. How often does that happen that 3 of us are actually looking at a case that is not a very well case and we're all looking at it at the same time? Okay, her word's getting out. The word is going to get out. There's also a Saturday search covering 5 to 10 miles of where she was last seen, organized by the Southeast Texas Navy. So see, people are coming together. I've seen media, like I said, more and more is happening. Check out the Facebook group. You guys know, usually if I share a Facebook group, I like to share the family ones because to me, those are about the facts. Okay, it's not about all the other stuff. There are other areas you can go for those things. And, but please check. That's actually where they actually talk about stuff. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's the one actually. Kay-Alana Facebook. Yeah, it's a profile page. And it's more and more families I see doing that, just doing a profile page where there's updates rather than groups or anything. So please help us keep an eye out for her. I mean, that's what she was wearing at the time she went missing. I think there's only one Facebook group, I think. There might be another one that I just haven't found yet. It's over in the mod chat. And and then there's the GoFundMe. Or both, whatever. I trust you guys. You guys got good heads on you guys. And that's why I love you. And but yeah, this is what she was wearing at the time. Okay, she was trying to find her way to her friends. That's where she was headed. Okay, taking a look at her. Okay, looking at that smile that she has there. Okay, with light brown, I'm calling it light brown hair and blue eyes. And here we go. So Kay-Alana Turner, who also goes by Kay. Okay, Kay is her more normal, everyday name. Went missing on March 10th. So she's been gone for, what, almost 6 weeks? It's time to come home. It's time to find her and bring her home at this point. She's 5'4", 127 pounds, light brown hair, and blue eyes. She was last seen on Decker Prairie, Rose Hill Road, near Holly Creek Trails. She was last seen the bright pink maxi dress that you see in this picture, just without a jacket. She may be disoriented, but is not thought to be dangerous. If you see her, please call Harris County Sheriff's Office at 713-755-7427. She could be heading in any directions. Exactly, KK. She really could be working her way out. So covering all the areas. Texas. Cover all the different states around it, because maybe she caught a bus. She could have caught a bus and be headed into a different location. So whatever you guys can do to help in sharing stuff. I'm going to share out a bunch of different hashtags that people suggest. The family was using Kay-Alana is missing, hashtag bring Kay home, hashtag, then the normal ones like missing person, Tomball, Texas, Montgomery County. But let's help share her story out as much as we can. Thank y'all all so much for coming. Thank you, Scarlett, for that really sweet donation earlier. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I love you, my dear. I love you, girl. You're like my new sister, girl. And to the new Trisha, I know, had joined in. New member Trisha came in, and who was the other one? Tarot with Trisha. Oh, Aussie True Crime was the other one. So thank you to both of you for joining in as new Ohana members. I love you guys so much. Thank you all so much, and I will see you Wednesday. I guess we're back over on this channel, Sleuth, I guess. Yes, we'll have to figure out what we talk about this week. If anyone has any subjects, let me know. And maybe we will cover whatever subject it is that you guys have. So welcome the new members, and I will see you Wednesday. Cassie's trying to get attention. Christola is loco. Welcome new members. Yep. Awesome new members. We got some amazing new members going now. Oh, is Robbie live right now? Okay, if Robbie's live, let's do a local raid and head on over to Robbie. Do you have the link, my dear? Or let me see if I can pull up the link right now. I did not know he was even live right up. Yep, he sure is live right now. I mean, how often does he go live at night? Okay, here we go. I got it. So let's set us up a local raid over at Robbie's. There you go, gang. There's the link. Head on over there, and I will see y'all over there. Love you guys tons and tons. Let me work my way back to StreamYard. Love y'all. Mwah. Love you guys. Local raid. See you there. Bye-bye. See ya. Yes, Kat.